Welcome back. You might not realize it, but there was a time when there were flags proudly on display at Hart Plaza, nearly 24 of them. But about 14 years ago, the flags began coming down for a number of reasons, but thanks to good old-fashioned hard work and American ingenuity, the type of ingenuity Detroit is known for, the flags, they're making a comeback. Consider this the dotting of an I. It's not quite the icing on the cake or the cherry on top, but that'll come in due time. Nonetheless, this is the culmination of a lot of work.
An extreme amount of work. It's been about a year since we started it.
That's when Michael Soviak began his mission to restore the flags at Hart Plaza, which began disappearing about 14 years ago.
When you look at your budget and apples and oranges and what you can do and what you can't do, you make that determination.
Alicia Bradford runs the Department of Parks and Recreation, which oversees Hart Plaza. She says the flags have always been a priority. It's paying for upkeep that's the challenge.
It's more costly than just a simple flag being placed on a pole.
You see, flags need to be regularly repaired or replaced. Otherwise, they begin to look like this. And then there are the poles, which are a little more than just poles.
The poles themselves are in great shape. It's just the hardware, the tops, the winches.
The cables, the retaining rings, and other components that keep a flag flying. All that needs to be repaired or replaced on a regular basis as well, which isn't cheap. And it also requires a bit of know-how. And that's where Michael Soviak comes back in.
One day we were driving down Jefferson, and I noticed his business had a flag, but the flag was tattered. And I thought to myself, well, he should change that. So I went and talked to him the next day, and he said, well, why don't you go get me one?
That was 5 years ago when Revolution Flag Group was born. Michael was just 16 when he started the company. Since then, business has gotten better and better each year. You'll see their flags flying at Henry Ford Optimize, Fisher Dynamics, and all over the city of Detroit.
Recently, we just donated over 50 flags to the Detroit Police Department and the Detroit Fire Department.
Did you catch that? Revolution Flag Group donated flags to Detroit because they were needed. But to do the same thing at Hart Plaza would be a lot more expensive. So the Revolution called in for reinforcements.
Chapter 9 donated $9,000 to get him started.
Detroit's Vietnam veterans obviously have an interest in seeing the flags return to Hart Plaza, so they immediately got on board. But even more help was needed to take on this tremendous challenge. So another call was made to UAW4.
We got the rest of the finance, which is roughly another $30,000 to do all the flagpoles.
Just in time for Detroit's emergence from bankruptcy, Hart Plaza will be home to reconditioned flagpoles adorned with brand new American-made American flags. Revolution Flag Group supplied the know-how. Detroit's Vietnam veterans, they provided support, and UAW4 provided the backing. Now all that's needed is your patriotism, the icing on the cake, the cherry on top this Saturday as the flags are rededicated to the city of Detroit, just in time for Veterans Day.
Putting those flags up shows, hey, this is Detroit, this is what we're about. This is a reminder to say, hey, wait a second, there's someone that's fighting for our cause and fighting for us.
So I got word tonight, the flags are all back up. The rededication ceremony is tomorrow. That should be at 3:30 following a day of festivities that kick off around 9 that has a parade and all types of fun. I should also mention that the money that was raised, nearly $40,000 to get the flags back, will maintain them for 2 years. After that, the flags will come back down once again. A fund has been set up to make sure that doesn't happen again. We've got a link to the website for this Revolution Flag Group on our website with this story. That's, of course, WXYZ.com. Glenda?
Wow, that is great to see. We were both talking about seeing them lining Hart Plaza.
First live shot I ever did here almost 15 years ago. I went down to Hart Plaza and I remember the flags all over there and being in the United States and looking through the American flag to see Canada, but having the flags there, yeah, really cool stuff. So.